In Destiny Dungeons, 3 Guardians descend into raid-like mechanics to achieve maximum glory and revel in the rewards that they've reaped. These activities are designed for an entire fire team to descend into whatever challenges await them and cooperate in order to become triumphant over the dangers that lurk within. In these activities lies one of the most prestigious challenges a Destiny player can achieve. A challenge that will immediately go-gadget extendo their penis and instantly add 3 inches of maximum girth upon completion. That being the sacred act of the solo flawless. Only the roughest and toughest ass clowns in the Destiny community dare to even attempt this challenge. But what if it was possible to take this principle even further for absolutely no other reason than seeing just how low my will to live can go? Well, that's right, baby. Today we beg to go even further beyond. Strengthen our virginity shield tighter than a trials main for your sick enjoyment and pose the question, can you solo flawless Pit of Heresy with only white gear? So this challenge comes about because Ginger posted in my Discord that he was going to try beat Pit of Heresy solo flawless with only white gear. I thought that I too would undertake this monumental task, because mama didn't raise no bitch. Now, not to spoil anything, but Howie sent me a recording of my activity report on the D2 companion app, and holy fuck, that's a lot of restarts. I didn't realize I was at this for that long. I thought it was only a couple. Truly, I need help. But starting this challenge off has me thinking, you know, Papa Rye, maybe you've taken this whole blue and orange color scheme a bit too far to bringing back an old friend from the Can You Beat the Witch Queen wearing only white gear challenge. God, I missed you, you beautiful bastard. But even though I've got the gear, something still feels off. Ah, that's much better. We've once again returned to the peak of Destiny raw sexual attraction. I completely understand if you need to take a break from this video after witnessing this godlike Adonis to clean out your underwear. Sorry if the mere sight of this definition of beauty leaves you absolutely sodden. But I then head to collections to gather every white gear item I can find in order to give myself options, because in the white gear run before this, I only had the Kvostov, Stubborn Oak, and the rocket launcher as my weapons, all the way up until the Communion. I had no idea that there were other white gear options, as I never have to look far for a purple in this game. Bungie likes to overrun my postmaster's ass with legendary shit and constantly plague my postmaster with blues. I thought you said this would be fixed, Bungie. I then equipped the very same 1550 Kvostov from the white gear run and the green rocket launcher. I then realized that my ghost is too disgusting for such an absolute Chad warrior of the light and painted it with this offensive bright pink, and to be extremely fitting, I changed the projection to a humble slice of cheese. Ah, absolutely wonderful. I then head into my solar subclass screen in order to equip as many restoration effects as I can. I thought if I had more heals, I could give myself as many get out of jail free cards as possible, because in this gear and this low of resilience, a wet fart is enough to shatter my fucking bones. But with my loadout set, we load into the mission to begin yet another colossal ass kicking. I narrowly avoid these beams as I fall, and when I hit the bottom, I break into a mad dash for the first encounter. I plant the flag, dance for the Zenkai boost, and throw myself off the edge with reckless abandon. It's funny watching these initial runs because I do everything extremely timid, but by the last runs I've unleashed my inner fucking John Wick and have everything down to a science. Bill Nye the science guy? More like Bill Rye, your mom and I. I descend into the first part where you get the symbols and completely forget that I equipped healing abilities almost immediately, and in my first fight chuck a healing grenade at Acolyte. I snipe the knight from far away because I have no idea how much damage a sword to the skull will do to me in this gear, and I'm not too particular about fucking around and finding out. I then gather the symbols of which my callouts are divide, fucking magnet with legs I guess, and circle. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar working for the deep state and probably believes in one-shot protection from fall damage. All these comments in my challenge run saying, yeah, you can survive a fall from any height if it's flat. Oh, but not the pipes and the Cabal gun, Rylee. That shit ain't flat enough. Well, what is it? Which one is it, goddamn? It looks flat to me. Damn these flatlanders. When will they be satisfied? I then sail across the sky like the beautiful butterfly that I am and head towards the magnet rune. I kill the Shrieker, and the ogres inside bear down upon me a relentless assault, but I maintain my composure and casually back away slowly. I then hurl myself off the edge once again with reckless abandon. Now this challenge made me throw myself off of ledges so many times that I got used to where my character's body was. I had the spatial awareness of a demigod. I knew exactly where my body was down to the exact pixel. Finally, the power of forklift certification in the palms of my hands. I then set up a well of radiance to fight my enemies in a 1v1 cage match, but they didn't know what they signed up for when they invaded Daddy's kitchen, as I was cooking up an ass slapping at every corner. Apparently they didn't take too kindly to me delivering the mightiest of potato sackings and eventually get the better of me. I see that my health is critical, and in a split-second decision I use a tactical retreat by hurling myself off the edge, while an ogre lasered my back. I survive the initial fall and find another knight. I use this moment to try and get a sword I can use to fell the disciple. This fight is a bit dodgy as well, as I have to continually throw myself off the bridge to stop myself from dying. I then gather the sword, kill the wizards, and make my way to the entrance of the ogres in the tunnel. I fall through the cracks in the devastated moon and stop briefly to equip Icarus Dash. Speed is the name of the game when you're dealing with these ogres. Can't laser my ass in hole when I'm fast as fuck, boy. I get a little too confident and run directly at an ogre because because I usually charge in to deal with my problems head on. Intelligence? Strategies? Not on my watch, asshole. But I realize that he will have no problem ham-fisting me at this range, so I decide to make a split-second decision and dive into a nearby side tunnel, where I then get to content vault a knight to get me an orb. I bob and weave my way through the first fight, give him the super slurper guac guac 9000. Gather the orb, then try to sneak past the ogre fighting the ground, but then realize that the way he is guarding is completely the wrong way. Joke's on you, ogre. I'm never afraid to banana split. I commit a 180 and head to the next knight's tunnel. I give him the old sniper to the face treatment. This knight put in a lot more of a fight than the last, but I play very carefully. I try to sneak to the next receptacle, but it's hard to be sneaky when you're packing more cake than a bakery and look like the peak of raw guardian sexual attractiveness, and dunk in the last remaining receptacle. Then head to my inventory to find a weapon that will help me in this encounter. This encounter has a ton of gunfire, which is tough just trying to solo flawless normally, but when you walk your goofy ass in here using only white gear, the problems start to get a little bit more real. I went into my inventory thinking maybe I could make use of something like an SMG because of the ranges I would be fighting at, and to my surprise, there was a white one. But son of a bitch, it's a special weapon. Damn you, double primary meta. Day 1, D2, back to once again tickle my taint. I switch to the pariah to hopefully have a higher fire rate, and void to hopefully make use of devour with volatile rounds. This room will be pretty dangerous, and the more explosive power I'm packing, the higher chance I have at surviving it. Immediately upon using the pariah, I'm giving nothing but disappointment by the fire rate. God damn it, why are you so slow? I mean, sure, I could have read the gun stats to figure that out beforehand, but there's one thing I've learned in my life. It's that reading, well, reading is for fucking nerds. I then rush the knight that drops the orbs the moment I notice the room is clear because I have my super all charged up in my back pocket. You're done, kid. Ah, fuck. For some reason, I had Nova Warp equipped and oh boy, this situation is quickly devolving. I have no devour and no abilities, so I spaz out around the room like a sporadic 5-year-old, trying to hold on just long enough until my abilities recharge. But in my panic, I see a counter going up in the corner and think, I gotta move quick, even though I had a shit ton of time still remaining until the Annihilator totem starts vaporizing. Pop, pop. And in my panic, I pulled off this absolutely glorious technique. Oh god. Damn you, splash damage. I reload the mission and Icarus dash my way down the opening tunnel. I'm a master of speed. I've become learned in the ways of the dungeon. I roll in like an angel of death and start demolishing the hive. I've equipped Stubborn Oak instead of the sniper for the first encounter and use Icarus dash to go flying around the map with breakneck efficiency. One thing I love about this dungeon is that I can see all the little ways I've improved from attempt to attempt upon rewatching this. In the beginning, I didn't immediately know where the symbols were as I didn't have them memorized. I used to use my super on the enemies outside of the Disciples room instead of saving it for the wizards that were inside of it, because those wizards will kill you damn quick if you let them. I was also cautious when approaching these holes in the tower, but by the end of this I just hucked myself down them. Who knew I would have learned a valuable lesson in self-improvement from something as simple as playing a game I enjoy. Now would I retain this knowledge after this challenge? You bet your ass I won't. I've got the memory of a goldfish and I'm not afraid to use it. Editor Rylee here. Apparently I learned that a goldfish have memory of up to a month, marking yet another time in my life when I've been outclassed by a fish. I kill the Disciples, head into the ogre tunnels, and once again show off why you should never give me a rocket launcher by blasting my soul into the fucking stratosphere. Oh god, so much walking every time. Alright baby, here we go again. No slip-ups this time. I hurl myself off the edge and come in hot like a Navy SEAL. I clear the Disciples in the ogre tunnels and get ready to take down yet another knight. And look how much real estate there was to fire this rocket off. This is the third time in like 30 minutes I blow my ass up. Remember that video I said I constantly blow myself up with Gallahorn? This is why I use swords and shit. Alright, here we go again. Let's get this bread. This time I don't even make it to the ogre tunnel because I once again use my super on the outside of the wizard room and they show me a brave new world of urban violence. I once again clear the Disciples. This time I make it through the ogre tunnels with breakneck efficiency and equip a sword to help with the enemies in the third encounter. All goes well until I once again allow my devour to run out as I try the ancient technique of ball duping. But Bungie comes in once again to tell me, think fast, Chucklenuts, because we patched that months ago. Blackburn descended from his mountain on Olympus at the worst moment to clown on me, and for my transgressions, the hive knights above me pepper the very ground next to my feet, splattering me all over the fucking pavement. I then decide that maybe it's time to take a break and return to this tomorrow, as it was nearing 3 a.m. Now while that may be the perfect time for a Rylee re-upload, I was making rash mistakes, and I needed a clear head if I was gonna overcome this challenge. Rylee Reloaded? More like Rylee never uploaded. Alright baby, here we go, day number 2. I'm refreshed and ready to fight. I soar through the sky in the first arena where you get your symbols. I clear out the Disciples and make it to the ogre tunnels once again, and almost fall fall into the abyss with this orb. I use decisive action to propel myself back towards the ledge I was at. Then, while fighting another knight, he gets a Zenkai boost after taking a rocket from me and decides that my permit for living has expired, and transmogs me into a chalk outline. Desperately try to flee, but on this day, no nipples were to be left untwisted, and he plants me like a tree. Yeah, here we go again. I clear the disciples, throw myself into the abyss, and land with pinpoint accuracy. I make it through the ogre tunnels, and finally, I've made it to the third encounter. Let's go, it's time to conquer this. I hold the line pretty well. I have the Kvostov to keep my devour up, and just need to make sure that I sustain myself. The moment I let my ability slip is the moment that I fall. This is my moment. Finally, after all this strife, I was ready to hold the line against the oncoming tide. My soldiers don't lie down and accept defeat in the face of certain son of a bitch. Alright, I clear the disciples. And this run was going well. This little maneuver is gonna set us back 10 minutes. That's right, that little shit of an acolyte up there flinched me into blowing myself up with a grenade launcher. At this point, I'm thinking, I should just take off all explosives I got, because this is like the 9th time I've blown myself up in this run. Okay, so here we are at the attempt that I properly sustained my health, learned to relax, and didn't blow myself up. You have to be slow and steady in the third encounter to not fall. On the way there, I was mauled by a pack of thralls. They're eating me! But I managed to throw hands. I also managed to hold my own really well inside of the third encounter, floating all around the room, but a cursed thrall managed to get the better of me thanks to being on controller and having the aim assist take over. Gotta be one of my biggest pet peeves in Destiny if you're playing on controller. You got the shot perfectly lined up, an enemy goes in and the gun goes, oh no you don't, and just starts following them. Now something to note is that it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to get back to the third encounter every time. It is by no means a small walk, and with the amount I've done it, it starts to add up. I defeat the disciples, stealthily make my way through the tunnels, and return to the third encounter once again. The source of so much death in this past little while. I play like an absolute monster. The Hive didn't know what was coming. I've learned how to not panic about my health dwindling or the curse of suffering slowly adding up. Even though this armor has the stats of your average Redditor, Papa Rai is here to sling grenades and cause the whole room to explode in glorious void light. I'm using quick snipes to take down the knights shooting above, and when the moment is clear, I rush the knights on the left side. It's a simple rinse and repeat until you finish off the encounter. There is quite a few moments where things look dicey, but with a level head, this encounter goes extremely well. Then it's a simple fall down this hole with spinning blades that will insta-kill you, and fuck. Now my controller has a bit of a problem with a dead zone in the stick. Sadly, this is when I'm holding forward. Instead of going at full walk, my character just casually strolls unless I hammer the button in or activate my sprint. Not much of a problem in your day-to-day gameplay, but while attempting this challenge, where every single jump is pants-shittingly worrying, it starts to get a little bit more problematic. But even with that, I managed to make my way through the maze and kill all the wizards. And finally, here we are, the final encounter. I cinematically walk up, as this run has been hours in the making. What I thought would be a simple challenge has proven to be nothing short of a kick in the nuts. I also had to put no HUD to commemorate this absolutely glorious moment of mine, as this was the first time I've made it to the final encounter. I like how you can see the area you first descend into the pit from where I am currently. It's a neat little detail showing off how far you've truly come. I take a breather. Been a while since you've seen this emote, huh? True pain and captured in the perfect sit. I switched to Devour and a sniper rifle to help me deal with the knights that drop the swords, but a problem I have is that the knights chase your ass down and don't really leave enough range to take them out. With a sniper rifle, I still managed to make good enough use of it, but that is definitely an issue. This encounter doesn't really leave much time to change out my gear either, meaning I have to commit to what I go in with. I clear out the knight, the wizard, and the shrieker, then begin DPS phase. I throw off a Nova Bomb, and am saddened by the DPS. Well, that's gonna take a bit of phases. While reloading, I turn around, and not only do I have to contend with Zolmak, who can melt my ass in seconds, Bungie also decided to throw curse thralls at me. Well, that's nothing that hopping around the room won't solve. So even though my DPS was pitiful, I learned that this has to be a battle of endurance, more than a test of might. I need to be able to sustain myself. Even if this takes multiple runs, it's better to play it safe than sorry. The second run has the knights putting in way more pressure as they chase me down, not leaving much time to turn around. I managed to pick one off and then rinse and repeat in the disciples to start second DPS. I repeat this process until Zolmak is about 1/6 health left. I take to the skies and launch off the mightiest of Nova Bombs, and then get ready to take down Zolmak once and for all. I line my sniper up with his eyes, ready to unleash a devastating combo, but Zolmak pulled a fucking Uno reverse and lashed back with a wave of fire. I tried to flee, but melted my ass. Shit. Well, that run took almost an hour and 3 minutes that I'll never get back. So much running. So much fighting. I killed the disciples, run through the ogre tunnels, and clear the third encounter. It's still tough, but I managed to pull it off. And on my descent, you've got to be sucking me good through my jaw. I can't believe I hit that one. The whole time that was worrying me. It's not even that hard of an obstacle to avoid. And there I go again, hitting it. I kill the disciples, run through the ogre tunnels, clear the third encounter, and make my way through the wizards. I'm very cautious until this shit happens. Where did that come from? I get birthed from the depths of Luke Smith. Good lord. I swear to you that came out of nowhere. That one hurts. Okay. I kill the disciples. I run through the ogre tunnels, get to the third encounter, and they flinched me out of my shot, and I paid the penalty for it. Why? Now here we are. The culmination of everything that I've learned. I have achieved fucking Doomslayer levels of prowess in this dungeon. Even though my armor looks like it was poorly drawn by a 6-year-old with crayons, I am not playing around. In this world, it's either crack or become cracked. And here I stand once again. I rocket off the side and plant a shotgun directly into the night. These acolytes aren't even worth my time as I casually stroll past them. They are peasants beneath my feet. I have achieved godlike status. I hurl myself off the ledge, and as you see this shit, it's hardcore. I fell exactly through the hole in the X rune. I mean, I knew exactly where my body was. That's what I was talking about before. I once again show that I have become more than just lowly acolytes as I ignore their very existence. That's gonna hurt worse than a shotgun to the temples. I kill the Shrieker, unleash hellfire on the bridge, smack the bitch out of these thralls rushing me, almost die fighting these wizards and clear the encounter, then head towards the ogre tunnels. I fling myself down the pit, course correcting along the way with beautiful Icarus dashes. I know to rocket this spot and then rush the knight to quickly overcome him and gather the orb. Then run for the side tunnel and throw yourself over the side. I don't even clear the enemies inside, as that's just a risk I don't want to take. I jump on this ledge and Icarus dash toward the receptacle. Then you shoot out this tunnel, climb inside, giving yourself time to reload. Then Icarus dash towards the ogre to make it pass. In the other rooms, the method is similar. Kill the knight and then make like a tree and leaf. And after dunking all three, it was time to finally clear the third encounter. My strategy is pure and flawless now. I equip Void subclass with Devour and make sure I change from my stubborn oak into my sniper to help me pick off the knights on the top. I also equip a grenade launcher to help me one-shot the thralls that chase you in between dunks. I need 6 dunks in total, so you can imagine the amount of thralls that will be coming to tickle my bunghole. Something I forgot to mention is that during this challenge, I had completely depleted my stock of banners and have once again returned to D2 poverty. Look at the way I dodge around this room and pull off quick sniper shots. I play quick and carefully and beat this encounter with flying colors. The game then says, the suffering has ended, but this is D2, so I know that's a fucking lie. I then change my gear back to solar to make use of them sweet warlock aerial mobility. I kill the wizards that open up the path and once again return to fight my old friend Zulmok. Just like before, this goes pretty well. This encounter isn't actually all that hard as long as you play smart and take your time. That doesn't mean that if you get caught lacking, they won't put you in the dirt without a second thought. This time though, during DPS phase, I hit much harder despite the fact I can really only deal DPS with my Nova Bomb. I hit them with a weakening grenade and then sling a Nova to get the most out of my damage. This challenge has been a massive undertaking. So much has gone into this challenge, yet here I stand once again. Impossible odds, yet at the ready. White gear in hand to once again defy fate's chosen path. I throw a weakening grenade and then fire off a Nova Bomb into the instrument of torment. I then unleash a volley of munitions into its body, and after 2 days of constantly fighting my way through this dungeon, I managed to improvise, adapt, come and beat the Pit of Heresy solo flawless, using only white gear. And as I stand at the box, after collecting my loot, I take a moment to shower in the wealth and glory that my hard-fought victory has finally bestowed upon me. And for those that don't believe me, because this video is edited, you listen to your shit! Here's my activity report, goddamn. A sweet 515 kill-death average. Finally, to close out this glorious moment, I'd like to thank my patrons for sticking around while I make things in the background. Huge thanks to Tekka Sovan, Link, Dank Devastation, Zerx14A, Max Copeland, Nadian Syrup, X9, 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 X9. Why you make me read that every time? Ben Stanfill, Hecate, XD 7228, Kari Simpson, Caleb Warman, Kevin Noda, Fish, Ban Me, Edensgate, your boy Game Awareness, Nathan Dasiuk, Valkeen, Thrumond, Dragon Waffle, Jacob Dagrapont, Kefnet the Useless, Nathaniel Farmer, CO Camo 3, Arson is Cringe, Crimbo the Undying, Madeline Celestia, Bogos Binted, Super Steven the very same, Mondo 117, James Escalante, Omega Null, Samarchi Descopper, Nand, Lost the Bob, Xavier Human, and Fufu Akio. I'm sure by now you guys are tired of me saying thank you, but seriously, you guys are great for supporting me and making these things, and I cannot wait to show you what I got coming up. And with all of that out of the way, and my sanity ruined enough for one night, I've been Rylee. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.